Alright, in the last video, what you all got was Stevie doing his thing in the yard, coming up with his new design of loading junkie to get him up the hill with these slick, slimy logs, and there's his crossbar in there working. What happened to me, on the other hand, is I blowed a travel hose on Brutus, and I was in here wallering around doing my thing and everything. But I got my rig fixed. Stevie got his system figured out, but what we're supposed to do is cover the drone flight out of the woods to showcase the canopy and how the cutting job turned out, and showing how long the road was coming out. But guess what? I didn't get to the drone and the whitey footage. So we're going to pick that up, and then we're also going to jump into Knuckle Boom and show a little bit of running Knuckle Boom and a little bit of how we cut up logs. My camera does die on me because it got overhotted. So I missed out a bunch of the information I was wanting to cover, but I got plenty of it, so let's see what we get into. Okay, let's got this took care of. Let me get to where I'm getting whitey, because this is actually, we did a really good job of cutting. I'm really proud of this job. So I gotta make sure not lose the drone, because it's actually turned out to be a pretty good cutting job. Let me put you all right here. There. This camera is all sweated up. Let me get up here. Alright, here's Whitey. And here's the property we've been cutting. Look at it. It turned out nice. There's a few openings. It's long and skinny, this property is. Let's get over here against the back line. I think somewhere in here is going to be the back line. Yeah, right in here. And here's how the canopy turned out. Not too shabby. There's a lot of good poplar, and we saved a lot of oaks. I'm happy about that. And here's our route out of here. You can get, okay, so here, let's line up with the job. Okay, here's the job all the way out. Let me just pause this for 1 second. Look out there. Look how far out that goes. You see the fields out there? That's where we're going. That's where, straight out, pretty much, you see the white buildings there, straight ahead to the right third of the screen. That's the house of the landowner. It's across a little bitty field that mediocre field that we're yarding in. That's how far out it is. Not too daggone shabby. Now, let's get down here where me and Whitey are. I'm gonna fire up Whitey. We're gonna start out. There's Roger Skidder and Stevie and them's working on veneer. That's across the ditch. There's a ditch that runs right through that white looking sycamore tree. And that's got a little bit of tops in it. I think that where you're seeing them tops there might be my crossing. No, it's right over here. And there's a road over there. Look at that. There's a road. We cut close to the road, but it wasn't as bad as what we've been on, some stuff we've been on. But it's just a long, narrow like a daggone right-of-way is what it's almost like, but it's too wide for right-of-way. And there's Junkie and Stevie down there. Now we'll get our butts. There's the crossing over there to the right of the screen. Tater, as you're editing, put a little dot there so everybody can see where that crossing is. Kind of see where the tracks are over there. But Junkyard's facing out. I guess I'll come up here and we'll follow Junkie out of here. Oh yeah, hang on. Woo, driver. Woo, driver. Woo. Back her up, Tatey Tot. Back her up. Okay. Let's get out there where they are. They've been working up veneering. Now let me turn this camera. I got y'all's mouth finally wiped off for good. Come here. I don't know why everything's always got to be aggravating for me, but I think I kind of bring it on myself. Well, we'll get up here and follow Junkie Junk out of this job. I don't know where Roger Dodge went. Hello? Where's Waddy at? Get out of the way. Get Roger to move these logs. Roger, let me out of here. Okay, let's see if Roger's letting me out of here. If I can get y'all up out of here without hitting a tree. Junkie's already headed out on me. Alright, Junkie's already headed out ahead of me. I don't know where he's at. But here's the job up here. Let me see if I can get up here and hover. I don't see Junkie yet. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm getting ready to try to catch up with Junkie driving Whitey. And at the same time, I'm gonna try to drone the drone footage I'm trying to get off of this job, this long job. I got my daggone hands full with my abilities. This is a little bit much for me. So kind of bear with me and we'll see how this turns out. Maybe he done went through. No, not the way Junkie drives. There he is. There's a load of logs heading out. It's a long property now. But it's this, you're looking at all of it. Here's the canopy of the whole thing. There's Junkie in the bottom part of the swing over there. Come on, Rogie. There we go, Rogie. try to keep y'all up with junkyard, but it ain't looking good. Talk about a long property. Gee, boy. It's a heck of a ride out of here. There's the road. We're getting to the road now. It's hard to drive Whitey and try to catch up with Junkie both. Anybody seeing him? Now, right here, there's where Eric's house is. I think they made it home from vacation, maybe. Right here it gets real tight. And then it jumps over, and this was cut hard. This is the only part of the job that looks cut real hard, I think. That looks pretty cut over pretty hard. But that laid real bad. That was real steep through there. Well, not super steep, but it's a little aggravating steep spots. Now, if we got back a hold of Junkie, we might see him coming through there, but I don't think we caught back up to him. See a big truck out there anywhere? No? He might be back here. Come on, Junkie. Junkie, jump, jump, Junkie, jump, jump, Junkie, Junkie, jump, jump. I don't see no Junkie. There ain't no way he's made it all the way out the boom, but I guess he did. There he is. Hot diggity dog. So, that's the rough part of the way the property lays. That's the rougher section. But I mean, as hard as it was cut, it don't look bad. And let me tell you, that was cut pretty hard through there. And it had some old open stuff. Some real grapevine-y kind of areas that's matted down the smaller trees and stuff, and all that's left with the big trees that was due. So I mean, I'm not knocking the forestry. Mikey does a good job on forestry, I think. I feel like he's real humble type of guy, and he's hard on himself for no reason, because I think he's got a great common sense and he makes some great calls. But he's like, well, I cut it a little harder than I wanted to. But I think it's fine. I think it looks great. Other than just right here, but I think I screwed up a bunch of that just because the ground lays hard. But the ground lays that bad, it's hard to do a real good cutting job to be proud of. But for the most part, I'm pretty daggone happy with all this. Pretty daggone happy, really. I think it turned out pretty daggone good. And I was wanting to catch up and run a junkyard, but we screwed that up, so that didn't happen. But life sometimes can be disappointing, driver. It can sometimes just be a little disappointing. It's hard to drive Whitey and catch up to Junkie at the same time. And film Junkie. There he is. Heading across the field. Now look at that field. All the wood we've drug out of here. That's what me and Mike was talking about. He really likes, the forester really likes this truck. All the wood we brought out of this thing, I said, look, the grass, yes, the grass is dead because we've watered it down, but it'll come right back. But the soil has not moved. Right there where Junkyard's driving, look at let me pull up the truck screen, the pickup Whitey screen, and look how that field, all the grass is still on the field. It's dead, but now the soil's been moved. The dust ain't bad. Look at the dust behind Junkie. That's all the dust there is. Of course, it did rain the other night, but I mean, it's not, the soil disturbance is not there. Gotta love this, you know, and the pre-haul guys, they can, forwarder guys get on me all the time, you know, why don't you get a forwarder? Why don't you get a forwarder? And because this is the technology that forwarder guys are talking about. You know, the not disturbing of the ground, the lack of disturbance, dragging trees out and stuff, yeah, and you're pulling a plow behind you when you're skidding. So when you're paying that money to pull that plow out all the time and you're not making any money stirring up the dirt, that's not paying you. Just moving the woods all is paying you. Let me get up here, he's coming out with I'm sure Joni's going to be here to help take care of the veneer. Oh yeah, let's get up here where you can see. Come on. Come on, this thing.
Okay, the lane is between that and St. Claude. He's worried he might scoot back and hit you.
Beautiful job, guys.
You got me there, Daddy?
Yeah, go ahead, Junkie. I'll come back with you, Junkie. Don't hit the aircraft, Joni Baloney. Okay, we'll park it right here. Let me get Waddy out of the way.
Hey, back to get your car.
Alright, that's her. Phew! Yeah.
What thing gets hot?
Yeah, it warms up. I mean, it's flying. I mean, that's a lot of energy being burnt in a short period of time. When it's flying, I reached up one time, grabbed a hold of the bottom of it. You talk about freaking out. I couldn't hold on to it. It pulled up out of my hands.
You going back to get the cutter?
Yeah. I tell you, it's the little things in life. Get ready. I didn't have a belt this morning, so I made it out of a hydraulic hose wrap and a welding rod. Works good. Having to redo Big Daddy's pads, but here's what I was talking about the other day. Here's what they come off there looking like, and Nick been telling me clean them all up where the faces touch, and I'll clean this up too where the faces touch. Clean all the dirt out of it and get the dirt out of it. And I've been putting lube on the boat so they get extra tight, but not lube on the surface. I mean, make sure not get any lube on the surface. That's what Nick said to do. So far, it's working on Brutus when I do it. Okay, so here's the thing. I thought that's a walnut log, by the way, a 10-footer that Stevie cut down in the woods. Anyways, rode out and Tiny did the drone footage and stuff coming out here, and Guinea had to haul butt because she had to get this white oak tree I'm starting on. She had to haul butt because she had to get started on the hay field because the timing was right and it's time to do hay. My brain is smoking right now. Can't decide where I make out a 10-footer, which I'm at the 10-foot slot right now, or take a chance on a 12-footer, and I think I'm going to go with the 10. White oak, I can't recall the prices of white oak. That price has always changed from from time to time, but I think the white oak prices are for face, which is on the 10-foot log I cut. There's a bunch of face on it, and I think face prices on white oak is like over $2 a foot right now, like two teens, $2.25. That's a board foot, not a lineal foot. And then I think one common's down for like $1.15 or something like that. So there is there's a big drop difference in price going from face down to one common in white oak. So yeah, and they're both expensive. One common's even expensive in white oak. But through the stave market, which is, those of you who don't know, it's what the market where you sell wood to make whiskey barrels. Staves and veneer really push white oak to be expensive wood. So those that's looking for the scraps, they gotta pay scraps being what you're gonna turn into lumber. Now that's a black gum, I believe I'm looking at my editor right. See, I had all this recorded, but the problem is, I guess I had all recorded where it's in cab, so I could do it real time while I was cutting up, so y'all could hear what I'm thinking, instead of doing it in hindsight 2020 like I'm doing right now. Hindsight 2020. Oh boy. So anyways, this is a black gum thrown up here also. And here comes Junkie. Wow, he is cycling super fast. So let me throw this white oak over there. Is it white oak? Yeah, I'm sure it's white. No, it looks like a daggone maple. I can't see on this editor. And I wanted to help y'all out with, I wanted to talk about species, you know, kind of help people out and stuff. There's a white oak I'm throwing up there. It's going to have to be thought through. So I'm just throwing it out of the table, getting it out of Junkyard's way. Here's some white oak top logs. Both of them are. They was cut off. They was the tops out of, I'd say, some veneer candidates back there. Just a guess. And Stevie cut up this morning, see, because they worked up the veneer this morning while I was welding on the fitting. And I do have a picture of that I think I took today. Maybe not. I had to look on my phone. But that turned out really well. And them are two walnuts, but they're out of bounds. It ain't hurting nothing. And this is a white oak and a walnut. The walnut looks like about an 8-footer. The white oak looks like a 12. Let's see what I do with them here. Yep, there's 12 going to longer stack for white oak. And I just skin a bunch of bark off that walnut, which is not good because walnut has to set quite a bit waiting for itself to make. Walnuts have to set quite a bit at the mill waiting for enough of a batch of them to come together to cut and make a run of them. You know, cut a semi-load of it for lumber. So you really try to take care. We set it in the shade. That helps. Keep the sun off of it to where the sun ain't beating on it. So we try to set walnut in the shade and that helps, but I think that bottom log's walnut too. But it don't need to set. Walnut's your most expensive. That's your black gold. Right there, walnut is. Alright, there's a 12-foot top log white oak. And I don't think that's got any face boards on it. It might have a couple small face boards. I'm trying to clean the chute out for Junkie to come in. And I'm going to end up having to just grab it myself and give her the chuckle. Nope, I just chucked him out. Come on, bring it on, Junkie. Come on there, good buddy. So, when you're cutting up these white oak, or walnut, or ash, I can't think of the difference in ash. I don't know what ash is right now. Is it $1.60? Does that sound right? For face right now on ash? $1.60 and then one I don't know, I can't recall. I've slept since then. First thing I did when Big Mama said, hey, can you jump on the boom? I called Mommy and asked her what all the prices was before I started cutting up logs. It's hard to cut up logs without knowing the price of everything. Well, what am I saying? It's impossible to cut up logs without knowing the price. You don't know what to do. Alright, so there's a bunch of pulp. Junkie cut out. Now, that's a sassafras that I'm getting a hold of here. Mike McCoy says it's bad luck to cut up sassafras and use it. But it gets cut up for crating, for the most part, from our company. That was a black gum, I believe. I can't remember. Or sweet gum. Probably sweet gum. There's black gum and sweet gum that we get. And I think that's sweet gum. Majority of what we get is sweet gum. Some of it's black gum. And this is all just cut up for yield. This here stuff is. It's not cut up for grade. So your yield price is a company that's kind of a top secret for our company because we don't like to give that information out. So I can't tell you what the price of the crating is to us here at the stump, but it's not much. It's pretty cheap. But you're cutting for yield. So like you're not cutting for grade, you're cutting for just sound. Unsound wood, which is wood that gets docked for like this sassafras, it would just be getting docked for unsound wood. Now, we do have a lumber company that does buy some sassafras, but we don't, not enough to hardly make a batch worthy of it. But like unsound wood is rot, pith, shake, and wane. Rot is obvious rot. Pith is the center of the log, the center of the tree, you know, where the center of your heart is. Shake is cracks, wind shake cracks, you know. And wane is when you cut a square board out of a round log, the round edges is called wane. And now what I did there is I cut the butt of that off. I can't remember if it was double hearted or what. I can't. Back the video up if you want to see. But sometimes you're like, if you're watching somebody cut up grade logs, a lot of times you can watch what they're doing and wonder, you know, what are they doing? You know, why are they cutting wood off? Here's the thing, your grade, if you got sweep, if you got unsound wood in there, if you got just wood that does not match in the, oh, daggone, you're trying to make a uniform log, uniform grade in a log. So when you cut your logs up, you're trying to put all your knotty stuff together, you put all your clear faces together, you're trying to keep excess sweep out of it. Log diameter changes things quite a bit. What slope the tree was grown on changed things a decent amount. Even what side of the tree can make a difference. Your northeast side of your trees tend to be, you know, clearer, and then your southwest side of your trees tend to be knottier in the northern hemisphere here. You know, but that all depends on each individual situation. So it's kind of hard to, it's kind of a hard thing to get just right. And let me tell you something, if you're not stressed out when you're doing this, if you're not scratching your head when you're doing this, you're not doing it right, I promise you. Now there has some interlocking grain. You see that grain, but it's a white oak, and you got 3 good faces of that log. And they are good faces. And then you got one face that is just crap. Oh, that looks like a hollow spot. No, that's got to be cut out anyways. So it looks to me like I'm getting ready to cut a 12-footer, and I assume I'm going to spin this around. See, right now it's set at 14 foot. I assume I'm going to spin this around and cut 2 feet off of it because of that hollow in it. What am I thinking? White oak's a hard one to cut up. It's just hard to production cut up white oak. Oh man, what is that? Oh gosh, that's bad. Don't even worry about that knot, Tater. Just cut it off. That log's hollow. Just cut it off. It don't matter. Oh man, that was a sad deal. Oh gosh, it gets worse. What? Oh, it's hard to watch. Oh God! We're down to an 8 foot. Okay, this is the last chance. There is The outside of this tree has got face lumber on it, but it needs to be solid, and it's not. It's not getting solid. That's not. Oh. Yuck. I don't even know if there's going to be any face now. Shoo. I'd say that's all 1 and 2. And some 3. Tack on it. Look at that. There's some solid on that, and I'm going to cut an 8-foot log out of this, I guess. That's what I decided to do. There's 2 and 3 common in this thing. And maybe a 1 common board or 2. But see, as your grades go down, your price for what you're getting paid for, that's why it's complex. This type of hardwoods, it's hard to be a highball logger. It's really hard to do it and protect your investment, because you really got to cut each log up. You got to look at the log as faces. You got to cut each face. You know, there's logs I'll throw on there, and I'm comparing the 2 better faces to the 2 worst faces on that log, and oh, you're torn. You're like, what do I do? How's that affecting, you know, how this thing's gonna saw out in the mill? You know, it's hard. You gotta bear in mind, like in the hardwood industry, usually when you go to a logging site, you know where the boss is at, because he's sitting there doing this job right here that I'm doing right now. Everybody else is logging, bringing stuff in. The boss is sitting right there cutting that up, protecting that grade. And that's why Big Mama sits on this thing. It's just very meticulous job. And if it ain't meticulous and you're not stressed doing it, then you don't know enough about the prices. You don't know enough to do what you're doing. But that's why you see funky things being done you can't understand when you're watching somebody cut up. You're like, because most people on average, they look at it when they don't know what they're looking at, grade wise and species wise and stuff like that, and the prices, they're looking at it for yield. And if you're looking at it for yield, you can watch somebody cutting up grade and think, well, they're yielding like crap. Why? Well, they're yielding terrible out of these pieces. What are they thinking? Well, you're not cutting up for yield, you're cutting up for grade. So you're trying to make the tree, you're trying to up value the tree the best you can. And going from one grade to another, okay, let's say if you have a, let me see here. If you have a log and it's heavy to 1 common, say it's a white oak, say it's a money log, heavy to 1 common, so you're looking at $1.10 a foot for lumber. Okay. That's for 1 common. Okay. Or you got, say you got a 14-foot log. 12 foot of it is the most you can stretch into boards that cut out $2.10 a foot. All right, or say it's a 10 foot of that log. You can cut $2.10. Okay, for none of the logs go all the way to the heart that way, because you get cheaper wood when you get close to harbor. Say 10 foot. Since that log's 14 foot long, 10 foot of it can make that. 4 foot of it can't on the outside of the log. In the lumber room, they'll take 4 foot of that and cut that off and throw that right in a chipper to take that 10 foot and make that high dollar piece. You see what I mean? Now you're cutting your log 14 foot because of other factors that could lead to that. Man, when you get to this low grade part of the tree, which is towards the center, the defects start from the top of the tree, work their way down, and start from the inside of the tree, you know, because that's your center, your heartwood. Your heartwood's, the pith center's inside the heartwood. So, I don't know if that's it. It's hard to talk about and explain. But your bad wood is in the center of the log. Your bad wood is at the top of the tree. Or on an overdone tree. That's why you can't let these old growth forest people, that stuff just vigor. You're looking for a vigorous tree. And in old growth, it has nothing to do with vigor. Vigorous trees feed animals good, they change over oxygen good, they grade out good, they do a lot of good things. Vigorous growing. Woods that's managed is good for the animals, good for the atmosphere, and good for business here for what we're doing. Old, stagnant, old growth crap forests don't do crap for nobody. Other than just, it has big trees in it that looks pretty to people. That's it. It don't serve no other purpose. You know. But you know, somebody that don't know what they're talking about and gonna latch on to every little piece of, you know, whatnot, thinking they're rocks, you know, don't realize they're living organisms. They're gonna look at like, you know, well, them is big, you know, it don't matter how many young trees died underneath it trying to get busted through the canopy and couldn't make it. You know, nobody ever looks into that stuff. You know, I don't know how I'm getting on that little tangent. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I'm just, I have a lot of pride in it. We as a company have a lot of pride in this. You know, I mean, when somebody don't take us, you know, yes, to a lot of people this is not important to them, but it's very important to us. You know, this conversation is a deep one for somebody like us. You know, but when you're cutting up your wood, you're taking pride in it. All these pieces of wood you're looking at, well, a lot of these pieces of wood you're looking at is going to go in somebody's house. It's going to go in somebody's furniture. It's going to become a piece of something that gets passed down from generation to generation. It's, you know, it's something that needs to be sacred to everybody, you know. When it comes to managing your timber, when it comes to harvesting your timber, it's just, it's hard. The older I get, the more I fall in love with this whatever this job or lifestyle or whatever this is. All of it. The people becomes more important to me. The equipment becomes more important to me. The wood definitely does. But anyways, I'll try to do a better job sometime. But hope y'all liked it. Have a good one. Later on.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit the buttons and leave me likes, comments, stuff. Let me know what's up. And to anybody that's wanting logger weight gear, go to loggerweight.com and help yourself at the shop there. And we got all that good mess. Take care of it. And mostly just want to say thanks, everybody. Hope everybody has a good one later on.